Hi, I'm Ashley with the Customer Success Team, and I'd like to take a few minutes to show you how to transfer interviews in Vidanix. Transferring an interview means that you're changing the custodianship from one person to another. As the custodian of an interview, that user is essentially the keeper of the interview in Vidanix, and they can edit the interview, add attachments, and share the interview with other users who may need access to it. Transferring interviews can be done one at a time or in a bulk action, and in order to be able to transfer interviews, you must be an interviewer or manager user and have transfer own or transfer all enabled as a user permission. So to transfer one of your own interviews, you're going to log into Vidanix and select My Interviews from over here in this left-hand menu. When you select My Interviews, it'll bring you to the page of all of the interviews that you are the current custodian of. And then you can find the interview in this list that you want to transfer to a new custodian. So from the interview card, you'll click the three-dot menu and then click Transfer. And then from this Select a New Custodian box, you'll find the new user that you want to be the new custodian. You can search through this list here or just type their name in and find them that way. And then when you click this box, it'll then give you the option to transfer this to that new user. If you want to keep access to this interview, you can keep this box checked here that says share this interview with the current custodian, and it will then share the interview with you and you can access it in your Shared with Me tab over here in the left-hand menu. If you do not want to keep access to this interview, uncheck this box and it will not be shared with you. Then when you hit this transfer button, a box will appear that just asks you to confirm that you do want to transfer this interview. So type transfer in this box and then click confirm. Once you've done that, the interview has now been transferred to the new custodian, and that user will receive an email notifying them that an interview has been transferred to them, and they can log in and access that interview on their My Interviews page. So if you want to transfer multiple interviews to a new custodian all at once, or if you want to transfer interviews from another user in your center to a new custodian, you would do that by clicking this transfer button up here at the top of your My Interviews screen. When you select that transfer button, the new custodian window will pop up again here, and you can select the person who you would like to be the new custodian of the interviews that you will be transferring from a list on the next page. So it's important to note here that you are able to transfer interviews from other users in your center to yourself using this feature. So in this list, you can select your own user account here as well. So once again, I'll find a user that I want to transfer interviews to, select them here. And then once again, you can check this share this interview with the current custodian box if you want the person who will no longer be the custodian to still have access to the interviews that you're transferring. And then the interviews will be accessible to them in their Shared with Me page instead of My Interviews. If you don't want to share the interviews with them, just uncheck this box and they will not have access to those interviews anymore. Then click this select box. And now a table will appear with a list of interviews that you can choose from. If you have transfer own enabled as a user permission, you will only see interviews in this list that you are currently the custodian of. However, if you have transfer all enabled as a user setting, this list will be of all of the interviews in your center, not just the ones that you are the custodian of. So you can use this basically to transfer any of your center's interviews to yourself or to other users. So once you're in this list of interviews, you can select any that you want to transfer by checking this box over here on the left-hand side. And then you can also click this header box here, and it gives you options to select all, clear your selections, or select every interview that is filtered in what you selected. So I'll click a couple here. And then click this transfer button. And then again, it'll ask you to confirm that you want to transfer that interview to the new custodian. Once you've done that, the new custodian will then receive an email notifying them that these interviews had been transferred to them, and they can then log in and be accessed on their My Interviews page. And that's it. If you have any questions or need assistance with transferring interviews, please contact support@vedanix.com.